Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Women Up Live.
Hello.
We are fortunate to be joined by one of our wave makers, Donnell. Thank you so much for joining us. Our topic this month has been business planning. We are at that point of the year where we are looking at what is to come and reflecting on what has been and how the year has been going and starting to make plans for all things for the future. So, over the course of this past or of this current month, we're still in October. We haven't gotten to Halloween quite yet. We have been sharing all kinds of business tips. So if you go to the WomanUP Facebook page or the Instagram page, you should see all of our posts. So we hope that you have been enjoying those and we appreciate your feedback on anything that we're posting. So just wanted to, share that we are actively posting. I also wanted to let you know that we do have uh, tickets to the Woman Up 2025 event posted for sale. We are so excited that 67 people have already raised their hand and said yes to the event. If you were at Reimagine, we did have a Reimagine show special where we had tickets at the very best price possible. They were $129, and if you registered on site, you were eligible to come and pick up a tote. Prices have increased to $149. They will be at that price until the end of November, and then prices will be going up. So if you are interested in joining us, please visit IamWomanUp.com. You will find the information. And Megan, if you happen to have the link, if you could drop that in the chat, that would be fantastic. But we do have tickets available. This will be a one-day event in Pasadena. We also would love to hear from you who you would like to see as a speaker. Now, keep in mind, we do not have an unlimited speaker budget. So as much as I would like to have Oprah Winfrey or any of the other amazing speakers, unfortunately, I don't have the budget for that. But I do know that there are many, many incredible people, and I have been meeting people with incredible stories to share. So I want to encourage all of you to share your story on our Share Your Story initiative. So that's another thing. And then I think Megan has something she wants to share as well.
I do. Good morning, everyone. My name is Megan McDonald, and I work in the Industry Relations Department at CAR. I play a significant role in Woman Up, and I'm incredibly grateful to be part of the community and to witness the impact you all have on women in the real estate industry. So, my exciting news is that we are actually searching for our 2025 wave makers. And our wave makers are actually very essential to us because they truly represent the heart of Woman Up. We will be accepting applications until December 15th of this year. So if you're interested in becoming a wave maker and helping us further our initiative, please apply by December 15th. And if you have any questions, you can also email me or our Woman Up email. It's womanup@car.org. And I'll go ahead and place the link to apply in the chat. I also wanted to bring awareness to our Instagram and Facebook group. If you haven't joined or followed yet, please do so because that's where most of our information comes from or is posted. So I'll go ahead and put that information in the chat.
Thank you so much, Megan. We do have an amazing team here that works on Woman Up every year. So thank you, Megan, for introducing yourself. That reminds me that I did not introduce myself. My name is Melanie McShane. I am the Director of Industry Relations here at CAR, and I am fortunate to work on our strategy and engagement team and work on programs such as Woman Up. I also have responsibility for YPN and Global. We just had an amazing global presentation this morning talking about the UK and Jamaica. So we appreciate the opportunity to connect with you in all sorts of ways. So, Donnell, do you want to introduce yourself and share who you are? Because you're another amazing person.
Surrounded by amazing people. Hi, guys. I'm Danielle Default. I am here in Paso Robles, California, and I will be president and Women's Council 2025 of California.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So we really thought long and hard about who it is that sort of demonstrates good business planning tips. And we reached out and we have two amazing women who were not able to join us live because they are so busy planning other things. But we have a recording that we're going to share with you between Sabrina Brown and Luisa Zepeda talking about business planning tips. And the reason that they came to mind is because whenever you see either of these ladies, they are fully present, they are fully engaged, and they just feel calm. You don't feel like they're running in at the last minute and running out early. They are there, they're present, and that all requires planning. That all requires all of that prep work, and they make it look easy, sort of like Olympic athletes. So we asked them to talk to us about what their business planning looks like, and they graciously spent, I think it's a little over half an hour, talking amongst each other, and sharing those business planning tips. And they go into strategic planning. And so we're going to go ahead and roll that video. And then when we come back, we'd love to hear what questions you have. Danielle is here, and I believe that Claudia is also going to try and join us. And we'd love to hear from any of you if you have great tips as well. So we'll go ahead and play that video.
Hi, Luisa.
Hey, Miss Sabrina.
I'm so excited to see you today. I'm so excited for this conversation.
Likewise, likewise. And long time no see, right?
Yeah, I know one conference after the other, but I love every minute of it. Hi, everybody. I am Sabrina Brown. I am the founder of Pink Key Real Estate out of Fresno, California. Today we're going to be talking about the business planning. I'm going to throw in a little bit of strategic planning as well. But just before we get started, I want to share all the things that I'm doing, and then we'll talk about the business plan and how I manage that. Luisa's going to talk about how she manages it. But right now, I serve at the California Association of Realtors. I also serve at the National Association of Realtors and my local association, and also Habitat for Humanity. And I run my brokerage. So with that being said, there's a lot of planning that needs to be done, at the end of the year, last quarter, to take me into the next quarter, to take me through the whole year. So we'll be talking about how we do that, what works for us, and maybe giving you a few little tips on how you can create your business plan that you can be more effective and efficient, and really actually just feel like a peace, calm, like you have some peace and calm when you have everything in place and know what you're working towards. So, Luisa, take it away.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Sabrina. And yeah, my name's Luisa Zepeda. I am the founder and broker of Brilla Real Estate. I just recently got my broker's license about 2 years, but I have been in the industry for over 20 years. This was my 20th year as a realtor. And I am serving at the California Association of Realtors level currently. And I'm also part of Women's Council of Realtors. I'm the local network for Foothills West this year. And next year I'll be serving as on my local real estate board as well. So as Sabrina mentioned, it is important to put all of these organizations into my business planning, but I make it work so that it is something that is productive, and I'm always intentional when I'm going to these events.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where I met you, Luisa, Women's Council. So, and I'm still involved there
Women
too.
Up, Women Up has been Women Up has been the biggest blessing for me, and I've shared a little bit of my story before. I actually was in the corporate world before becoming a solo agent in 2018, 2019. And it was because of seeing the Women Up community and how everybody was, rooting for each other, empowering each other, wanting to build others. I'd never seen anything like that, and I knew I wanted to be a part of it. And so Women Up was a segue into Women's Council of Realtors. That's where I started reconnecting with Kay Merg and a lot of ladies I've known for several years through Women Up. And the beauty of it is seeing how others have been rising and in their leadership journeys, but they also are growing in their businesses because of these powerful relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know for me personally, I think I do. Like some people say, well, do you ever say no? And I see you all over the place and I'm like, yeah, I absolutely say no because I never want to overcommit. And how I figure out if I can say yes or no, one, I have to believe in whatever it is for me to say yes. And I have to have time to commit to it. And so I know that me scheduling my business planning at the last quarter of the year is very crucial because what I do is I look at a full calendar for the next year. So I take that calendar and I fill out all of the dates that I know that I'm already committed, like all my meetings, my women's council meetings, my CAR, my NAR, my board meetings for my local, for Habitat. I put them all on the calendar. And once those are in there, then I put in my non-negotiable days. And non-negotiable days for me are days that I have dedicated to my family. So I have my husband, I have my 6 kids and my 7 grandchildren. So that's what's most important to me. So I want to make sure that I have there's never really a true balance, but I want to make sure that I have what's really important to me, and that's family, because that's why I'm doing all the things that I'm doing. So I put all those things in. I put my non-negotiables in there for my family, and that's how I work my calendar. So that way I know if someone asks, can you do this? I can absolutely say yes, or I can absolutely say no, because I know it's already on my calendar. And I look at all of the things that I'm doing as opportunities of growth for me and opportunities of giving. And I look at it as giving and growth. And that's why I volunteer. And I don't feel like I'm volunteering, I'm giving anything away. I feel like I'm actually growing. And I want to make sure that I put that on my calendar for me, for me personally. That's what brings me joy. And it has to be, whatever's on your calendar should be a why, like why you're doing this. Like, why are you doing this? Before you do anything with your business plan, we always talk about the financial piece of it. Like, I'm creating my business plan for the financial piece. Well, you can't really get to the financial piece until you know your why you're doing it. And so I know that I'm doing all the things that I'm doing so I can have that, my non-negotiable time with my family, and be able to afford to do the things that I want to do with them. And that's why those non-negotiables are vacation days. That's me going to visit them wherever they may be. And so putting that all on the calendar makes it easy for me to plan, like, okay, now I got to get to work. I got to make money so I can do all these things that I want to do. But it makes it so much easier. And I don't mind doing the work because I know what I'm working for, know what I'm working towards. What about you, Luisa? What's the first thing that you do on your business plan?
Well, I just want to piggyback on what you just said. I mean, it's super important to have at least somewhat of a balance between, your family and your work. And I feel like everything that I do I'm going to try to do my very best at. And so if I can't commit to something 100%, I don't want to do it just to do it. It's super important for us to decipher and think of things through sometimes. Um, I love what you said about your non-negotiables. Um, I think I'm in a new season right now where my kids are a little bit older and I'm able to participate and volunteer and serve. And I've seen the importance of serving at the state level, at the local um, association and women's council, WomanUP. Like, I've seen the value it brings to my business, and that's why they have kind of become my non-negotiables as well. So I do start with those important dates too, when are we going to be, where are we going to be for CAR? Where are we going to be for our local association programs, and um, making sure that I'm having my kids' birthdays in there as well. My parents, everything that is super important to me has to be on the calendar as well. And like you mentioned, it's super important to go out there and bring the joy. Not only be out there, but bring the joy. Be committed and happy, and knowing that you're giving yourself this space. For me, it's been giving myself this space to be able to serve. It's been super important this year for me, because in previous years I wasn't able to because I had kids in school, and that's okay too, right? There's going to be a season for that, and that's why these years I am loving it. I'm absorbing it. I'm learning from others. I'm meeting new people. I'm in my element, and I absolutely love learning from others. This is how I gain an understanding of what needs to happen for my business. My networking is intentional. I always try to bring things with me that I know will be conversation starters, and I love giving back and sharing. So this is how it makes it easier to be able to learn from, where others are coming from, what cities do they serve, how can we partner up, or how can we stay in touch. Those are the things that have been super prominent these last couple of years of being in service. And so I take all of that and start taking notes and making sure that I'm going to have them in my planning for next year.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. So networking is a big piece of your business plan. So
Absolutely. Marketing, networking are huge. It all ties back into, how do I want to show up? How do I want to show up? Everybody has a different approach on how they run their businesses, but everything is absolutely brilliant and valid, because whatever works for them works for them. And we get to share and network with so many individuals, and we're able to mastermind and learn from each other. And when we're putting together these strategic plans for next year for possibly, our local boards or the committees that we serve, it's all our collaborative minds and visions working together for the greater good. And it's brilliant to see that into action. And we get to be part of it. And then we get to see how we can apply it to our own businesses. And so it's all very, it's brilliant. To me, it's absolutely brilliant.
yeah.
Learning from others.
Yeah. And I like that you said that, putting it all together, networking, and having a strategic plan. And, the strategic plan and the business plan, there's two different things. And so And I'm going to throw another one in there, life plan. It's really not a business plan. I want to call it a life plan because you really are planning your life, you know. And when you think about business, business sounds like work. So I like to say life plan because you're really planning to have the life that you want. And it just includes doing business to get there. And one of the things is, you know, we talk about volunteering. I didn't always volunteer, so I didn't have those connections or networking. But I always had a business plan because I knew the importance of it. And so for the people out there that are not networking, that are not meeting new people because maybe they just gotten into the business or they're not volunteering anywhere, but they're conducting their day-to-day business. And it doesn't matter if it's real estate or anything else, you know, you have to know where you're going in order to move forward. And so in your life, you have to know where you want to be. Like, I know that I want to have time with my family now. My season's a little bit different than yours, and everybody has a different season. But my season is like all about my grandbabies now. I'm like, okay, I want to spend time with them. What kind of things do I want to go out and do with them? So I'm planning my life around that. And when I say my life, I'm planning my business around that. I'm planning on how much money do I need to make to get there, to do the things that I want to do with them. And like I said, once you do that, it's really not like work. It really is about creating the life that you want. And so one of the things that I say is that, one, you calendar everything, you have it all in there so you know what to say yes and what to say no to. And then you look at how you're going to get there. What's the work you're going to do? And that's the piece that we're always used to. Oh, so I'm going to just refer back to real estate. So there's two different business plans I have. I have a business plan for myself, and I have a business plan for my company. So those are two different business plans. The business plan that I have for myself, that's mine and that's personal. The one I have for my business, that's the one that I share with the agents in my office. And we do that together. So when I'm working on my business plan for the office, it's my office business plan, and the agents are making their business plans for their life plans or what they're planning on doing and what they want to accomplish. And sometimes you have to also include a strategic plan. The strategic plan is something that you want to accomplish, 2 to 3 years out, and you're building towards that. And it's part of your business plan. It's a little piece of your business plan goes back to your strategic plan. Like, so I had an agent that wanted to purchase a house. Well, guess what? Before she was going to be able to purchase a house, it was going to take 2 years. She knew that. So her business plan included that first year, what she needed to do that first year, and what she needed to do for the second year. So her business plan was kind of like, here's year one. Okay, their strategic plan is here's years 2 and 3. And then I'm going to follow up and make sure I'm doing all the things I need to do to accomplish that big, far out accomplishment that I'm going for. And I think sometimes we put those big ideas in year one and we don't spread it out. And then we get frustrated when we don't meet those goals. So having a strategic plan is just as important as having a business plan. Your strategic plan is your big, audacious, I want to accomplish this in the future. And then your business plans are the steps to get there. So every year is a step to get to your big, audacious. And I can speak for myself. One of the things that I wanted to do was, and I didn't know it until I started doing all these other things. And that's the other thing. Sometimes life changes. And so your business plan will adjust. Different things get included on there. It's not the same every year. And so now I've included speaking and teaching and training into my business plan. I want to do so many training sessions per year, where before that was not even on the radar or a goal. And so now I know, okay, so every month I want to do 1 to 2 speaking engagements. So I put that on my business plan. And what does that look like? What is the work that I have to do to get there? That means that I'm making calls to associations. I'm making calls to larger brokerages to see if they want somebody to come in. That means I'm applying, to different organizations to come in and speak. That's the work I have to do to reach that goal. So it's about putting your goal down and then focusing on the work that needs to be done to accomplish that goal. So one is calendar, two would be setting your goals, and then we talked about it. And what's your why? Your why is your first thing. So why, calendar, what your goals are, and then the work that needs to go into reaching those goals. And then I like to say the reassessment, and you do that, monthly, quarterly, whatever you feel like you need to do. I like to do mine quarterly to see what's working, what's not working, and if I need to make adjustments. A business plan is not something that you make and you just leave on the shelf for the year. It's a living, breathing document, and it's guiding you to your end goal. So I would say that, you put all these components in and then you walk away. That's not a business plan. Your business plan is you put all these things in place and then you start doing the work. And as you're doing the work, you're monitoring, you're going back. In real estate, what's the one thing we always say? The money's in follow up. So you're following up on your business plan, and whatever time frame that is for you, you have to figure that out, but you have to continue to follow up in order to assess and make sure that you're on track to meet your goals.
And I'd say, calendar that in as well, right? The review, but at the end of the quarter, perhaps make sure that you have it in there. What items have I checked off? What do I need? Where are my numbers? Making sure that you're looking at your numbers and just reevaluating and seeing what the metrics of it all. Like, what else do I need to do, or how can I get better at this? Because I am this last couple of years building my brokerage, I went through a rebrand, and I'm putting together my marketing pieces. I'm putting together my website. I'm intentionally creating items and things to how I'm going to approach my business. And it's, kind of loving on my past clients and my sphere. And so I'm intentionally creating all of these marketing pieces to ensure that they know, first of all, that I am my own boss now as a broker, and that, what the vision of the company is. And I think in that strategic planning component that you are talking about, I'm seeing myself putting together what I'm going to, how will this company look like in the next 2-3 years? How am I going to scale? I'm putting all of the foundation down right now, getting all of the details, information that I need in order to have it ready for when I bring agents on board, make sure that they have all of the back office stuff that they need, and that we are, hit the ground running. So I want to build all of that. And so part of this 2024 and 2025 will be making sure that I have all of those systems in place, that it's all going to be easy access, no brainer for somebody that wants to come on board a mentoring program. I do want to start teaching. One of the visions that I have as well is going back to school, getting my MBA. So I have to put that on there. How am I going to put it all, how I'm going to make it happen. And the teaching and just being more into one of my big audacious goals, if I may share, is to create a nonprofit. So that's been in the back of my mind for a few years. And so, who do I talk to? Who are the people that I'm going to need to talk to as mentors, as guides, that I've seen that have done it before? when can I have those conversations with them? Where should I be planning for meeting up with them? Like, those are all the things that I am putting in the strategic planning. But for the business, I'm making sure that I'm gathering all the data, the metrics, making sure that I know where my business is coming from. One of the big things that I'm working on right now before the end of 2024 is to hire a business coach. So I want to make sure that I am getting the professional direction to so that I can find out what I don't know, because this is something different for me as running it as a brokerage. And especially with the changes in the industry, we want to make sure that everything that we are doing is going to be, that we're protecting our business and our assets, and that we are doing everything that we need to do to make sure that our clients are protected as well. So those are key components for me.
And I love that you said you were going to get a business coach. And so, and that's part of your business plan, part of your strategic plan. And, having a coach doesn't mean it could be a coach or a mentor. It could be paid or not paid. But having somebody to kind of walk through, because you're more likely to succeed if you share your big, audacious dreams, right? So if you have it on paper, you've just seen it, that's great. But if you have it on paper and you're sharing with someone and they're keeping you accountable, helping you stay accountable, that's when you're going to reach it. And I think that is the beauty of the Woman Up community, because you have so many different women that you can reach out to and talk to help guide you through that process. I wouldn't be doing half of the things that I'm doing had it not been for the Women Up community. And I say that because there have been women that have helped me along the way to do the things that I've wanted to do. And guess what? It was nice because these were just mentors. These were not coaches that I had to pay. These were women that were just vested in seeing me succeed. And that's the beauty of Woman Up. And when you look at your business plan and you see where maybe there's some gaps, because you also want to find out, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and you want to figure out what those are and where your weaknesses are. Find somebody that's strong in that and ask them questions and get them to guide you through that. If you're not great with marketing, find somebody that is, because that's a piece of your business plan. If you're not good with financials, well, guess what? Find somebody that's good with financials to help you through that piece. And then when you think about if you're an agent and you're looking for new clients, you don't want to do everything under the sun. You want to pick out a couple of things that you're really good at, and you want to focus on them first. So those are on your business plan. How am I going to get, is it your sphere of influence where you're going to be touching on them? What does it look like? How much is that going to cost you, monthly to do these things? Is it free? Whatever it is. And then how are you going to measure whether or not that's working or not? So don't do everything you see everybody else doing, and pick 3 things and put on your business plan that you're going to focus on, for that quarter, for the first 2 quarters. Measure it, see if it's working, and then make adjustments if it's not. But don't try to do everything all at once. Pick those top 3, work on those, implement those, get those down, and then you can gradually add more on, whether it's, in your 3rd or 4th quarter, or whether that's 1st quarter of the next year. But, you really have to be intentional. And I know, Luisa, you use that word a lot, intentional, and it's really being intentional on the things that you're doing. I'm like a big chicken. I'll tell everybody that. I'm not going to go out and just, I'm just going to, see if this works. No, I have to have a really good feel of whether or not it's going to work or not. And I'm very jealous of people that can just jump right in, because sometimes that's what it takes, just jumping right in. But when you're doing your business plan, it does need to be intentional on what you're going to focus on, what you're doing, and then really intentional on looking at what you're going to, how you're going to measure, and then also how you're going to adjust to move yourself forward. And I know a lot of people get into real estate and they don't do a business plan. They don't think they need one. But really, honestly, you need to know, what you're spending money on, what your return is on that money, what's working, what's not working, and then really honing in your skill set on things that you really want to increase your skill set on, and then coming up with a plan to, to grow that, to hone that skill. And for me, it was volunteering. Through volunteering, I got really good at my strategic planning, through my business planning, because one, I made connections, and two, I learned a lot by giving. Like when you're giving, you're learning. And so figuring out what that is for you to get that information to incorporate into your business plan is huge. And if you're just starting out and, just basic business plan, that's okay too, because you have to start somewhere. And I would just say, one, why did you get into that business, whatever it may be, what you're doing? Why are you doing it? Is it like, do you love it? What's your vision for the future? Calendar everything out, and then start putting all the little pieces together. So I think that if you don't know where you're going, you're going to get there. But is it going to be the right location when you get there? So you have to chart it out. So make sure that you're charting out your route. What is your goal? How you're going to get there? And sometimes when you chart it out, it's not going to be a straight line. I can tell you there will be ups and downs, but the ups and downs will be a lot easier when you have it all planned out, because you still know where you're trying to get to. You might just have to deviate. Luisa, you had spoke earlier about COVID and how that kind of threw a little wrench. You had this whole plan, and then all of a sudden here's COVID. But guess what? You already had a plan, and now you're just making adjustments. You're not starting from scratch. So what advice would you give someone that has this business plan and then all of a sudden life throws them this big monkey wrench? What would be your recommendation for them? How would you tell them to move forward?
That it's super important to take time for yourself too, and make sure that that there's a wellness component in it all. Because we cannot control certain things and life is going to happen. But if you have a strong, sense of mind, a strong awareness that there are things that you cannot control, but have a plan in action already for those things. Have a team, make sure that you have, one of the things that I know, because you were speaking to, what are you good at? Well, I can be very good at many different things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I should be doing everything. And that's one of the lessons that I've learned in recent years. I need to start letting go. I need to start using, a virtual assistant. I love creating marketing. I love doing all the marketing, but I need to start delegating more. And that's one important thing that we can, get a great takeaway for people. Start looking into a virtual assistant. What can you delegate to a transaction coordinator? What can you, if you have the situation where I am, where you're a solo broker, who's going to be your go-to backup person that will support you? And life is going to happen. We need to stay strong. We need to make sure that there's a balance, that we're doing the things to take care of our health and not allow life events to overwhelm us or take over. Because if COVID taught us anything, is that life is too short. We need to make sure that our whys are taken care of first, right? Our whys are most likely our families, our parents. We need to make sure that we are taking care of them, that we're giving them the time, and what can we do in our business that will free up a little more time so that we can do those things. I recently moved, and I love the fact that there's a church just a block over from me. So when I have the time in the mornings where I don't have early meetings, I'll walk to church. I'll do 7:30 mass, and then I will go out for a walk around my neighborhood. And that has helped me tremendously, just to, if I do it on a Monday, it just sets the stage for the rest of the week. So adding those little things that bring you joy and bring you peace of mind and calmness, it also allows you to think about the things that you have to do for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week. Having those quiet moments, maybe breath work, maybe meditation. I do a lot of service in my community, in my church as well. And that allows me to balance out everything else, because my faith is very important to me. So it's one of those things that it has to be on my calendar as well.
Yeah. See, and I love that you said that. Focus on your why, just to get through. And I always call it taking a minute. Like sometimes I'm like, I need to take a minute, and it's okay to take a minute, right? And so that's part of reaching your goals. You have to be physically able to do it and mentally able to do it. And a lot of times we don't talk about that, but having something on your business plan too of your non-negotiable, that non-negotiable time is not only time for your family and loved ones, but it's time for yourself as well. And you need to put that on your business plan. You need to calendar that out as well. Because we will get curveballs, and we just have to figure out how we're going to maneuver through those things. And like I said, if you already know where you're going, you might just have to look, it's a detour. So you're going to take the detour, but you're going to keep going. You're going to make adjustments, and you're going to keep going. And I love that, and you'll take a minute to do whatever that is to help you get on that detour and move forward. So with that being said, I'm going to say, do you have any last minute tips or tidbits that you would like to share with people on what to include on their business plan? That is for you, like a non-negotiable that's always going to be on your business plan. What does that look like? What is that one or two things?
I think having community is important. Reaching out and networking or seeing, it doesn't have to be real estate related, but having community is super important so that you are able to ground yourself and learn from others. And perhaps you don't have all the answers, but somebody in your community will. Or you never know how you're going to, bring more ideas into your business that you never thought of. And so that's super important. And, putting it into writing is going to be key. Just like we sometimes do our vision boards for the year, where we put our, personal, business, mental, whatever it is, putting it in writing is going to start allowing us that space to make things happen. Putting it in writing, you're already winning by doing so. So, write out the things that are most important to you. Even reflecting on 2024 and seeing what worked, what didn't work, what did I want to accomplish that I didn't get to accomplish, and making sure that you're putting it in for your 2025 vision.
I love that. And I love you said vision board, because I didn't even think about vision board, but visuals and writing it down and even saying it out loud is so powerful. And I remember when I first started in real estate, so I can go with 2006, there was this, and I know it sounds so silly, there was this desk that I wanted. I'm a bling girl. So this desk is silver. It has bling on it. It's like this big, massive, gorgeous desk. And I had it on this dream board. And I said, I'm going to have this desk. One day I'm going to have this desk. And guess what? I have that desk. My husband did not understand why I wanted this thing. He thought it was gaudy. I'm like, I don't care. It is like fabulous. It is beautiful. I worked really hard to get it. It was on that vision board and I knew that I wanted it. And, I achieved it. It was like, it was there, always in my face, always like right there. So I love the fact that you said, write it down, but write it down and keep it somewhere where you can see it. Write it down and keep it where you can refer back to it. And, I would just say that, my tip is start simple. If you don't already have one, start simple, start with your why. I think that's, if you always start with your why, you kind of get where you're going. And it doesn't seem like work. And then also make sure that you're saying yes to things that are definite yeses, not just because someone asked you, but it fits into your life plan. I think the number thing we do is overcommit. So never overcommit to anything. Make sure you have, your goal set. Make sure you're calendared. Make sure you always refer back to your why, and make sure that you're always checking to see where you're at and reevaluating. If you need to take a detour, take a detour. If you need to make adjustments, make adjustments. Do those things and make sure that, you stay on track. A lot of times we get distracted with other things. Don't get distracted. Stay on so make sure when you're putting your business plan together, it's really about your why and not somebody else's. A lot of times and I'm gonna say this, I'll probably get some companies mad at me. Our companies give us goals. And nobody is going to really work for a company's goals. It's not about the company, it's about them and their why. And so make sure it's not your company's goal or somebody else's goal for you. It's your true goal, your purpose, and you'll work harder towards it. It makes more sense, and don't look at somebody else's business plan or somebody else's life, because their life is not your life and it's not your life plan. What makes you happy, do what makes you happy. Don't focus on what anybody else is doing. Focus on what makes you the happiest. And I think that you'll be successful at whatever that you set out to do. And I would say that if you are looking for tips, you can always go to the WomanUP website, the WomanUP Facebook page. They have lots of tips on business planning there. And then reach out to the WomanUP community if you have a strength that you want to share. If you have something that you need to work on, reach out and find someone that has the strength there that can help you build there. And so the WomanUP community is here for all of us to help us all grow to achieve our goals. And the first step is having that business plan, life plan. And then finding other people that are really vested in your success and sharing that with them. So I would just ask that before you go, if you could put in the chat one nugget that you are going to take away from this talk and include in your business plan. I'd love to see it.
And I love the fact that you bring up the joy, because that was one of the words for me this year. And I believe that if we don't ask for things, I love the desk thing. If we don't ask for them, if we don't put it out there, we're not going to make it happen. And you never know who's listening or, how the world's going to bring us these things. And it brought me a beautiful visual from when I was young. So we hope that we were able to assist and give you ideas, and we're open books. I know Sabrina's also very giving and sharing of her time and mentoring. So if there's anything that we can do for you guys, and that's what we're here for. That's what this community is all about.
All right. Bye. Bye, guys. Thanks for being here.
Have a great one.
So we are excited. I'm going to launch a really quick poll that I made, and then we're going to ask you to share your goals because we really want to help support you in your goals. And I did see that we have a few more of our wave makers here. So I'll bring a few more people up. But I'm going to launch a quick poll if I can find it again. Sorry, I'm still learning. I don't know what happened to my poll. Well, we'll go ahead and just launch this one. Save. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's launch this one. Are you guys seeing that? So I'll leave that up for just a few minutes until
I
we,
see some thumbs ups.
yeah, it's, I'm not even going to tell you, but what are the guesses? Do you think most people have started or not?
I would say not. What do you think, Bridget?
I have started.
Oh,
So we're at 68%. Is anybody else going to respond? 72%. See if we can get to 75%. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. And I will share the results with you. We were tracking
oh,
it 50-50, so hopefully this webinar was timely for you because it does seem like there are a lot of people that have not yet started. So this is the time of year when you really want to be working on your business planning. And throughout the course of this month, we did share a tip a day, honestly, and we will continue to share through the end of the month. So that is there. But one thing that we had talked about when we were working with Luisa and Sabrina was really trying to support you in your goals. And I think that Sabrina mentioned how she was able to get support from different people in the community, the WomanUP community, to achieve her goals. And so we're going to try our best. We don't know how this is going to work exactly yet. But if you share your goal with us, we will try and check in with you on a quarterly basis, like Sabrina suggested, to see how you're tracking on that goal and to remind you of the goal that you set. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this, and I will not be sharing your goal with everybody here. It will only go to myself and my team. But hopefully, if you have a goal that you would like to achieve in 2025, you can share here. Like I said, we're going to try our best to get this out to you on a quarterly basis just so that you can check in. So Danielle, what do you have to share around business planning? What are some of your key takeaways?
I think with business planning, it's whatever you're going to do. Like, it's so great. We're all excited. And for the half of the people that have already set a goal, you're excited. We're out. And it's like almost like a New Year's resolution, right? So in January, everybody's going to go work out. Well, come February, well, we moved into chocolate season. So it's like finding that goal and keeping that motivation. And the way to do that is being accountable. Through the Women Up group and Women's Council, I've had a couple people I'm accountable with. And at one point, we were meeting for a once a week check in, and it wasn't about any other responsibility other than our own personal business, which sometimes you get squirreled in different conversations and it's easy to get together and not stay focused, but it was a very intent to stay on your business. So find somebody somebody in a different market. Maybe you can find what's working in that market and not working in yours, a referral partner. There's so many different ways to engage. So reach out to somebody, and everybody wants to see you succeed, but you need to be accountable to yourself. And when you do that with somebody else, it's just like a workout buddy, right? You're going to achieve a little bit more. But any goals that you have, look at it, check in with it, and don't be excited and kind of get squirreled and lose 6 months and being like, oh no, there's no income coming in because I was doing this. Like if you can check in, like Sabrina said, every quarter, that keeps the momentum going, keeps everybody accountable. So I guess my advice would be get a friend and be a buddy and be accountable to each other.
I love that. And you were inspiring me there for a little while because you were sharing your streak of exercise and how often you were closing your rings. And so that was definitely inspirational for me. So sometimes it's not even an accountability partner that knows that you're an accountability partner, that can hold you accountable. So Bridget,
I'm on day
what?
like 115 right now.
Nice. That is fabulous. Bridget, what business planning advice do you want to share with us?
Um, just do it. I mean, figure out your goals, what you want to do, and I think that the self-assessment is really important. So going back, looking at it every day or every week, something that fits your schedule to where you're actually going to do it. Like they said, people write out the business plans and then put them on the shelf and never look at them again. So if you never look at it again, you won't achieve anything. And then, like Sabrina said, I do a vision board every year, and it kind of go along with the business plan. And I look at it so that I can achieve the goals that I set out in my business plan. And I kind of put the stuff um, from my business plan on my vision board. And I actually have my vision board on my phone so I can see it every day. Hi.
Hi there. Oh, we love it when we get new visitors. Thank you, Bridget.
You're
And
welcome.
I see that Bridget is also representing California there. So I think we've got a team in the World Series.
We do.
Claudia, what do you want to share with us?
A business plan. Well, I think overall, have your calendar. I remember a few years back, I had a friend that she would say, Claudia, so how's your calendar going? I would do everything mental note, which was ridiculous. And of course, she says, if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Now, as we get so involved, right, with everything that we have in as far as leadership business, if it's true, if it's not on the calendar, it really doesn't exist. We live pretty much by our calendar. Overall, I do encourage, people to think about their health first, put those walks in the morning. And if it's 20 minutes, at least 20-minute walk, go do it. If you are able to walk quietly within yourself, look at the nature, the trees, that's great. But I do pretty much what Donnell mentioned as far as I don't do the weekly check-ins, but that's amazing because that's having accountability, finding that person that can uplift you and encourage you. My walks that I try to do now, because of lack of time, is pretty much their phone calls and walks. So they're more encouragement. So I pair up with someone that's part of my leadership team that encourages me. We tag, we touch base and we encourage each other as I'm doing my quick little 20-minute walk. But overall, I do advise, for those that have children and have family, I'm sure we have, PTA meetings or anything that we have going on. The first thing we do is block our calendars for, look at our child's a year calendar, block their spring break, their Christmas break, and all the other ones they have in between. And after that, everything else will fall into place. So I do prioritize my family first, and then I go ahead and commit to my clients and, of course, anything that I'm doing as far as leadership as well. And learn to sometimes say no. We get excited and people do pump us up and we think we're an asset. No, you are an asset. Just the moment, just being here, just joining a meeting, joining a networking session, or being surrounded by Woman Up. No, you are already amazing. But sometimes we enjoy, right, when we hear, you're good for this. This would be great for you. I've learned to say thank you. I appreciate it. And it is encouraging. But I also have learned to pass it on to the next person that I know is an asset, because sometimes we cannot say yes to everything. And when we say yes to everything, sometimes our light will dull a bit because you can't be everywhere at the same time. So that's my perspective for also, continuing my business plan for next year.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing, Claudia. So I heard a lot of talk about calendars, so I wanted to make sure that everybody put a big date on their calendar. June 11th. June 11th. What are we doing on June 11th? Megan, what are we doing on
Woman
June
up.
11th?
Woman up.
Yes.
I'll
Woman up
be
in
there.
Pasadena, right?
Yes, we will all be in Pasadena. It is a one-day event. We are planning our intention, and this may shift because we want to provide as much value to you all as we can. But our intention is to start the event at about 10 a.m. and finish with our typical Woman Up reception. That would probably be from 5:30 to 7. We are talking about, and what we'd like to see happen is to do the wave makers on the night before, the wave maker dinners on the night before. So plans may change just depending upon how things work out, but that is what we are working on for now. So if you are not local to Pasadena, there's even a link on IamWomanUp.com where you can register and get an amazing rate at the Westin Pasadena where the event will be taking place. We do have just a small block of rooms, so those probably will fill up quickly. And for those of you who are flying in, you might want to go ahead and book that room as well after you've booked your ticket. We're also open to speaker ideas. I mentioned earlier our Share Your Story initiative. That is where we do look first for our speakers. So if you know of somebody amazing that you think should be on the stage at Woman Up, we encourage you to have people share their story or reach out to womanup@car.org with any of your speaker recommendations. I know Danielle has given me one. And so we are open to feedback on the speakers that you would like to see on our stage. It's been fabulous to see so many of our speakers go on to speak on other stages as well. So sometimes we are, sort of an on-ramp for people as they are getting started as speakers and they go on to do amazing things. So hopefully everyone has got some incredible business planning tips. For the 50% of you that have not yet started your business planning, we hope that you feel inspired and have some things to work on. We have about 9 people who have shared their goal with us. And I think for my panelists, you might not have been able to share your goal. I'm not sure if it's coming up on your screens or not. But we do have 9 people. We will follow up with you on a quarterly basis, and we really want to help you achieve the goals that you have shared with us. So thank you so much for joining us. Megan, any last words that you want to share?
Just thank you so much for joining us, everyone. And just a reminder, our Wavemaker applications are open until December 15th. So if you're interested in becoming a Wavemaker for next year, please apply.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate all of you. Our next event is on November 20th, and our focus for the month of November is gratitude. So we will be getting more information to you, and we'd love to hear, we'd love to see you all be very active about gratitude during the month of November on the Woman Up social channels. So thank you so much. We look forward to engaging with you. Have a great week.
Bye, everybody.
God bless everyone.